prepared to light up the path, to bridge every gap. Access meets opportunity, there's no turning back. Forward with fortitude, the future's in sight. Together we rise like stars in the night. Authenticity reigns, love leads the way. We're speaking in harmony every single day. Speak harmony, let your voice intertwine. So let's move forward, ever bold and true. With Sharon and Tamara, the vision breaks through. Speak harmony where hearts align.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to another edition of Speak Harmony. This episode is brought to you by the sponsor, who is APAT Media Group. APAT Media Group is a full-service creative video and photo production company here in Stone Mountain, specializing in podcasting, multi-camera recording, and live streaming. Contact them by email at info@apapmedia.com. Thank you to our sponsors, APAT Media. Welcome again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's a wonderful day here in Atlanta, in Atlanta, as they call it. Thank you so much for coming in. Man, we've got a show lined up for you where fashion meets culture. That's what we're all about today. Guys, get ready. Fasten your seatbelts. Get ready and tune in. This is what it's all about today. Speak Harmony. Thank you for joining. So, wow. Listen, again, like I said, get ready, get ready, get ready. We've got some fabulous people in the studio today here in APAP, and we're going to kick it off with our first guest. None other than the Norma Jean Martin, director of A Fashion Affair, Inc. And if you know anything about fashion, or high fashion for that matter, Norma Jean is the epitome of fashion. Guys, she hails from Jamaica, the beautiful island of Jamaica in the West Indies, and she earned a degree in education leadership from the University of the West Indies. She also went to Michael Teachers College, and a lot of us who are Jamaicans know about the Michael Teachers College. There's none like that. But currently, she's the director, like I said, of the Fashion Affair, Inc. She stages this, she was staging this beautiful fashion show. It's a cultural cabaret that she did for the past 15 years. Then COVID happened. But guess what? We are so ecstatic to bring it back to where it started, where it all started. So guys, put this on your calendar. Do not miss this fashion show. The only way you can miss this fashion show if you're not in Atlanta. And let me tell you, if you can postpone whatever trips or whatever you have going on, be there, be squared. We have a distinguished lady here by way of Norma Jean. And Peaches, her cohort, her assistant, her able assistant, Peaches, let me tell you, they're two peas in a pod. You know, so listen, it's they say two peas in a pod, but there's a young lady that makes things happen, and you've seen her running around. You probably just see her darting across the stage doing stuff. She's the behind the scenes person. So that's none other than Christine Newton. She wears a whole ton of hats, and let me tell you, she's joining us now virtually. That's because she's wearing one of those other hats. Yep. So without further ado, I want to welcome to our platform here at APAT Media, Norma Jean Martin, Peaches, and thank you for joining us, Christine. Thank you. Norma Jean, you have had this passion. You've been a teacher in your past life. You're still a teacher because you've taught me a whole lot of stuff since we've connected. And honestly, as far as fashion is concerned, I wish you guys could see what I'm wearing, guys. I don't know. I'll get a picture out to you shortly, but let me tell you, every time I wear a piece of her garment, something that Norma Jean produces, let me tell you, I get stopped. Whether it's in the airport, at the hotel, on the beach, wherever I go. The dress I'm wearing, I wore for my birthday in Aruba a few years ago, and let me tell you something. I literally was the talk of the town. I was a talk of the town. My husband was blushing. So Norma Jean, your passion for fashion started when? When I read your bio, I thought, a lie. It could not be, because her fashion, love of fashion, Peaches, started from birth.
Yes.
It's just that it blossomed
Yes.
later on.
Yes.
Norma Jean Martin, just tell the folks, how did this passion really come about? Because I've seen where you went to this school and that, and you did this and that, but I know, when you look at her, guys, she's a walking statement. So take it away, sister.
So good afternoon, everyone out there listening to this podcast. Let me tell you, this woman, Sharon, is incredible. She's so prepared. The woman went and dig up my dress, and she's in it, and she's magnificent. I couldn't have passed this one on to a better looking model.
Thank
Are
you.
you going to model in the show this year, Sharon? You think?
Pressure, Peaches. I might as well, right?
Anyway, good afternoon, and thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Peaches. Thank you, Christine. And thank you, audience, for accommodating us this afternoon. And we hope the information we're going to give you will intrigue you, because it's been running through my veins for months. And if it's not that, it's the drive that Patrick gives me trying to get this show up and about. Anyway, she asks about the love for fashion, and to be honest with you, she's right. I think that it was already in my blood, because I went to school and I was supposed to teach all those years, and I did. But I realized something else was calling me away from it, and I had to follow my heart and my craft. Sometimes you have a talent, and the talent outweighs the path of the profession that you would have otherwise have done based on what you've studied for. So this is one of them. And I did go on, though, to study for this, because I did go to the Fashion Institute and get my drama going on and fit in New York. So I have some credentials
You do.
in that path. But most importantly, thank you guys for allowing us this platform to speak about this upcoming show through a fashion affair. We literally, this year, the event is called, I'm so sorry, it's in a fashion affair in association with the Caribbean Association of Georgia, for which Christine is the now president. We're working together to get this show the attention that the Caribbean truly needs, and the Caribbean does get from this. It is called Enchanted. It's a whimsical approach to fashion. Ours is not a regular fashion show. It's a fashion cabaret. The reason is, a regular fashion show, you see it all the time, everywhere. You don't really have to even go anywhere to go see it. But this one, you really have to come to the theater to see. And this is why it's good for me to be doing it in a theater environment
Setting, yeah.
versus in a regular place where you just do runway. Because there's drama, there's music, there's hot models who don't just walk the runway, but they literally, oh my gosh,
On the stage.
on the stage. And we mix up the models. We do American models. We do models from the islands. Our platform gives the reigning queen for the Caribbean island a platform to continue during their reign, to be present, and to also give them the exposure. We also bring along with that the designers, because believe me when I tell you, we have some of the best designers in the world. And as Caribbean people, we long to see our own kind and our own type. I heard you speak with the gentleman about the Marcus Garvey thing.
Oh, yeah.
And
Stephen
it's
Bruce
funny
Golding,
because
yes.
because his mother is. I used to dress his mother. I used to do that in Jamaica. I used to dress women for Parliament.
Oh, yeah.
So-
we see that.
so-
I mean, her resume, her bio is
Yes.
extensive.
And I saw it and I called his mother right as I was talking. I called her in Jamaica. Anyway, end of the story is I'm literally allowing our designers with our brand and our flavor the platform to show their wear to the audience here in Atlanta. I used to do that in Florida. When we started this business, it was Peaches, myself, Faith White, Christine, and Patrick. And I think there was one other person, I don't remember who that is. But we literally took this from a hotel ballroom
Of course.
until we move it into bigger areas, and we've taken it to other states. And in Atlanta, they've been asking and asking, when are you bringing it back? When are you bringing it back?
It's long overdue.
And yes, it is. It
So
is.
it's coming.
So it's coming. And right now we are doing very well. Our VIP tickets are almost sold out. So if you are VIP conscious, you are in trouble if you're not calling already to get your VIP tickets. And I know that I have the pleasure of working with Christine and with Peaches. So I'd like to segue if there's anything else you'd like to say before I get into the other parts of this.
Oh, yes. Well, good evening, and thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
We're so very grateful. This show has been in anticipation for those who have experienced our show before, those who know about it. And it's not just to highlight the Caribbean people. It's people, locals as well. It's an international show. So we have people from Nigeria, designer and model, from the Caribbean islands, including Jamaica, and locals right here. So it's going to be a concert of fashion. And this evening, like she was saying, the VIP tickets are flying out the door, and that comes with, there's a special package to the VIP seating.
Yes, they
For
arrive.
those
They
who-
arrive at 4.
Yes.
They get to arrive at 4. They get they're limited seats. There's only a certain number. I don't want to say it now, anybody get nervous.
Yes.
But there's only a certain amount of tickets included in that, and you get to have cocktail, finger food, you get preferred seating and wine. So you really get to be wine and dine. Yes, you get the royal treatment.
Where do you get
your
that at a fashion show? I've never heard of that.
and this is why
it's so
we're
exclusive.
not just a fashion
No,
show.
of course
So
not.
usually when people ask me to explain, why is the VIP? I said, do you want to be treated well? We're not going to treat you bad no matter what. But do you want that extra treatment?
That's it.
That's what you're paying
That
for.
oomph.
Yes.
That's it.
And the show itself is probably worth what you're getting in the VIP package. When you see this year's show,
Oh, yeah.
you are going to ask me next year, why is it just for that?
What can I tell you?
Then we can say to them that the show
It's an
Enchanted-
experience.
Yes, absolutely. It's an experience where fashion meets music meets art meets beauty. That's what it is in one evening. It's a one evening event, and before anyone exit the podcast, I just want to say this performance will be at the Porter Sanford Performing Arts Center in Decatur, 5 p.m. A door open at 4 for this show, and it begins at 5 sharp. May 31st,
So-
the last Saturday in the month of May. Go ahead, sis. Somebody
So I wanted to say that one of the things people really want to know is where to get these exciting tickets, and it's a fashionaffair.org. A fashionaffair.org. Get your tickets now. One of the reasons why a Caribbean Association of Georgia went in partnership with a fashion affair is because we try to bring things that the Caribbean can experience in a positive and uplifting light that represents the Caribbean well. And a fashion affair does that. If you want something exciting, if you want some Caribbean drama at the next level, if you want to experience Caribbean fashion, if you want to experience the drama on the stage, one of the things that you can do is go to YouTube and type in a fashion affair and see some of our past show. This is nothing that you've ever experienced before. Ask anybody that have ever experienced our show. They all want to come back. So get your tickets now at afashionaffair.org. And don't forget our sponsors. Our sponsors believe in what we do. Go ahead, Norma.
So for this year, our sponsors are returning sponsor, Arcoville Meats. He's been there from the very beginning. He's always with us, Arcoville Inc. And gastroenterology specialist of Gwinnett, the Empowerment Workshop, the Majestic Smiles LLC, Jamaica Tourist Board, of course. Miss Jamaica Universe is going to be here.
That's right.
The bridal store, TK Bridal Store, the store that I get my bridal gowns from. Yes. And they're actually in the show. Yes. And St. Kitts came on board this year because don't forget, Judith Rollins with Brown Sugar Collection is flying in from St. Kitts to doll you up. And her pieces are fabulous. Also, we have Randy Birch. He sponsored Miss Jamaica Universe, so he's considered one of our special sponsor. Wow. If it weren't for these people, try to remember your sponsors do the hardest part of the lifting of the expense. If it weren't for them, you can't even introduce the show because ticket sales does not usually cover this. Sponsors cover the initial parts of your show. So I want to thank these sponsors again and again for their loyalty and their support.
And on that note, just for a quick segment, we're going to go ahead and do just run a quick commercial right now because, listen, you've got to see this. Go right ahead.
Fashion Affair, in partnership with the Caribbean Association of Georgia, presents Fashion Cabaret 2025. Enchanted. Saturday, May 31, 5 p.m. at the beautiful Porter Sanford III Performing Arts and Community Center, 3181 Rainbow Drive, in Decatur, featuring top Nigerian fashion model, actress, entrepreneur, Adaeze Iluke, Miss Jamaica Universe 2024, Rachel Silvera, top models including Dawson Shoemate, cabaret performances, compere and director Weston Houghton. Call 678-379-3811 or visit information at afashionaffair.org for tickets and more information. Sponsors: Winter Law Practice, Arcoville Inc., The Empowerment Workshop, Majestic Smiles LLC, Jamaica Tourist Board, TK Bridal, Gastroenterology Specialists, and the St. Kitts Tourism Authority. Fashion Cabaret 2025. Enchanted. May 31, 6 p.m. at Porter Sanford.
And there you have it. If you're not enchanted, I don't know what it's going to take after that. Okay? Norma.
Let me tell you, this year we have Avark out of Barbados, Ava and Mark. We have Adaeze. You know, Adaeze, I'm telling you, congratulations, and I'm so proud of this girl. I trained her. She was my first queen out of the Calabar Carnival Queen that I did in Nigeria. I've been there 4 years in a row training their queens. And she was the first queen that won the competition. And she's like my child. She come here every year, sponsor herself or get sponsor, come here every year and do my show. And she has matured to the point now, she's a movie star down there now too. And she's actually a lawyer.
I don't know what's that.
And every year, she don't even wait for me to call her and invite her. As soon as the year turns, she calls me to ask, Miss Norma, am I coming in for the show? And then this year she's doing a business. It's called Ade Abaya. It's her collection, her Nigerian clothing. So this year she's featuring that and she's modeling
In the show.
in the show. It's amazing the loyalty people have had over the years with this show. And Patrick and I and Christine and Peaches knows these people so much that they're like family to us. Then we have Brown Sugar, which is Judith Rollins. She's been here before. And her collection was so good, I literally bought about 6 pieces from her collection. The first year she came in, Christine bought
stunning
stuff.
pieces.
And
So St. Kitts is being represented. Barbados is being represented. So I need all the Bajans to come out, all the people from St. Kitts to come out,
all
Nigerians.
the islands, all the islands.
Name all the islands. You
a matter of fact, we have
experience.
models who are coming into the show from some of these islands.
Wow.
Yes, there's some of the models
Wow.
are from Nigeria, from Barbados, St. Lucia, different places.
Surprises.
And then we have TK Bridal Collection. We have Miguel Wilson from Fifth Plaza. He does those
Oh,
celebrity
my
men's
God,
suits
we know,
and stuff.
We know Miguel.
Yes,
We know
and
Miguel.
and then we have this year, and I like to clear this up for those people who are, you know, kind of ask questions but didn't get to ask me. See, we didn't start this organization as a charity. There's a difference.
Yes.
This is an event production company. We produce events with Caribbean flavor. So, but in the process, we also identify with the mantra of what we do. We're a fashion brand, so we like to support fashion students. This year, we are going to support 2 groups of fashion students. One set is from Le Fashion Boutique, which is in Dunwoody. I know the lady. I found out afterward that she's a Jamaican. She's the director for the Institute. Her name is Nicola Watson.
Wow.
So I'm going to be one of the judges on their graduation coming up in April. And whoever wins that graduation will present their collection at our show as well. And in addition to that, there are 2 fabulous young Nigerian guys that are students here. One of them is an engineering student. They both developed a line of clothes that are Afro-American look.
Wow.
And they literally are going to present their collection at this year's show. I mean, it's just...
So who wouldn't be a VIP in this case? I mean, seriously, because what you're paying though, what you're paying for VIP.
Everybody wants to be a VIP. This is why
Everybody-
the VIP tickets are being sold out.
Of course.
So, and if you and so I wanted to also mention that Rachel Silvera, though she did not place in our top 5 in Miss Universe this year,
Our top girl.
that girl's body is a top 1. And her look,
Yes.
oh my God.
She is.
She is fierce, and she is moving around now in her title, doing
Her
stuff.
personality though.
Yes, we met her here. Christine and I and Peaches took her to lunch when she came back from Mexico from the pageant, and we just embraced her like our daughter. So we're so looking forward to having her here.
God.
She's runway fierce.
I saw that. I've seen
Runway
that.
fierce, and she's coming back this year, and so is Roxine, and so is Trishana, and some of the seasoned model, plus new models.
Wow.
So it is good, and then we have
I don't want people to think these are just, the regular models that they see on the runway. We represent everyone, every size.
Yes, every look.
Oh yeah.
That are out there. So this is not just for the skinny models or anything like that. It's representation from the Caribbean, and we are fabulous no matter what
Fierce.
size we are.
Oh,
so
yes.
where do you get your tickets?
Yes.
At fashionaffair.org.
At fashionaffair.org,
Also-
and
Also, we're really having this podcast, to invite everyone to come be a part of us.
Yes.
It's really to announce to all the listeners that this show is coming to town. It's a 1 evening only. It's an international show, not just Caribbean, not just American, not just Nigerian. It's a fusion show. And here you will experience fashion at the highest level. So that dress that you've been wondering, where am I going to wear this dress to?
oh, here comes the occasion.
This is the show. You cannot outdress this show. So please join us. Tickets are available. Christine gave you where tickets
At
are available.
fashionaffair.org. And if you have questions, you may call us. Like if you see, I know that when you see what we have to offer, you're still going to want to come and sponsor, and we want you to. Give us a call at 678-379-3811 so that you can help and showcase
The
to our
beauty of your
audience.
island, yes. And also, we still have opportunities for those people who would like to advertise in our program booklet. Our souvenir booklet is one of the best you will ever see. You see
Oh
this
my
book?
gosh. Wow.
You see this book? And every year when we do this book, it is a highly anticipated book of the year. And when you put your ads in this book, I call people who tell me they have the first book from 2006. I still have people who have that book.
Yes,
And
because
you
the
get
book-
support because the Caribbean community is large.
It brings you a niche of clients that you otherwise would not have.
Yes.
But I can't emphasize enough that this show is on May 31st. It's the last Saturday in the month of May, and doors open at 4 p.m. It's the Porter Sanford Performing Arts Center. Come be a part of us. Come join us.
Absolutely.
It's an experience that the Caribbean Association of Georgia is going to be there representing. We don't partner with anyone that gives mediocre stuff because we want the highest level for the Caribbean community. Right. So come out and support. You can see some of the information at caribbeangeorgia.org or at fashionaffair.org. You can go to YouTube, type in a fashion affair, and you'll see some of the past shows. It is fantastic. This is a place to be, May 31st, fashionaffair.org.
And also, I wanted to take this moment before I go, to just say that we have been doing this show since 2004. We started with the Tivoli Garden Dance Group, Patrick, back at Shiloh. And then we moved on. We did 8 years of show in Atlanta, 1 in Florida, and in Cross River State, Nigeria, and in Abuja, and in Lagos. I did 4 years of this show. And I'm at the point where this show is just the everything you want in an evening of entertainment. And it's very inclusive. It's not just us. It will be other cultures that will be there. So be mindful of that. I want to thank the people who have been putting us out there, plenty. This year, my first backbone supporter who went online and bought his ticket, Dr. Garfield McCook and his wife, Andrea, first to buy their tickets online, first.
Shout out to Dr. McCook and Andrea.
Also, I want to thank you, Sharon. You've been posting us like crazy.
You have to.
You've just been posting us like crazy. And I'm grateful. And so is Donna McLeod.
Of course.
Just running.
Look,
just beautiful how you people have been
Yes.
doing that for us. I really thank you.
But I thank you because, when I kid you not, Peaches, Patrick, Deborah, let me tell you, when I put something on
Yes.
that this lady designed, I walk out and I walk out with confidence. Even if my hair is looking a mess, a hot mess. Let me tell you something. They're not focused on anything except what I'm wearing because on my birthday, it was amazing. And I'll send pictures. I'll post pictures of those right there in Aruba. I had people leaving from their dinner table, walking over to me. I was like, oh my God, could you stop? I thought I was a celebrity because my dress was that.
You are when you're rocking
your stuff,
NJM Couture.
girl.
A matter of fact, I have a collection in it, and this year, and I'm looking for a few Chester women to carry it. But hey,
I may rethink not to joining in. I think I may just jump in, just dive in.
So before we go again, we should thank the sponsors.
Yes.
Without them,
Yes.
this show would not
Yes.
come to town. Winter's Immigration Law is one of our sponsors, and how we need them at this time.
Yes.
With all that is going on.
With immigration.
Arcoville meets gastroenterologist specialist of Gwinnett. One of our favorite doctor in that practice is
Dr. Adeniji. Oh, he's such a good enterologist.
And great gastroenterologist. The empowerment workshop, Majestic Smiles, that give everyone the smiles they need. And Jamaica Tourist Board, of course,
Always,
TK Bridal
always.
Store.
Yes.
For all the brides who are looking for the perfect dress for that perfect
This bridal
day.
show, you will see all of that. You
Jamaica
can
National
actually.
Money Transfer is one of the sponsors also.
And
Jamaica National Money Transfer.
and Saint Kitts. So
And
thank
Saint
you
Kitts.
guys very much. Please join us for the show Saturday, May 31st at the Porter Sanford Performing Arts Center in Decatur.
Call us for
open at
tickets.
4. Call us for tickets or go online for tickets.
So the people may want to know how they dress, how they come out for this show. Folks, dress. Norma, tell them how to
Well,
dress.
it's
Oh, okay.
because
Okay. So this is my forever saying. Don't ask me where I'm going dressed up like that. Is it okay for me to just go to my mailbox? I'm not sure if I'm waking up tomorrow, so this might be my last opportunity to wear this gown. Is it okay if I just garden with it on? So no, I'm telling you, don't question yourself. The fashion show starts as you come through the door at our show.
be
The
fabulous.
fashion show starts. I have people, I won't call their names now, but they come there and I swear I just rather just drag them and put them on the stage, how good they look. Wear your best, honey, because this one is hot.
Top shelf.
Top
Come
shelf.
represent
There you have it.
Yeah, I'm only changing 3 times. I mean, I don't have enough time to change, but I'll do 3.
And thank
Wow.
you,
Well,
Sharon.
thank you.
Thank you guys so much for having us this evening and, for sharing this with your
Absolutely.
audience. We
Yes.
appreciate you.
And it was such a pleasure. I mean, let me tell you, APAP Media is what it's
APAP
about.
Media, yes.
We love what we do here
Absolutely
at APAP
love it.
Media. I mean, Patrick Parkins, he never says no.
No. And
He
the
does
funny
things
thing
with-
is, Patrick, I remember when my first year when I did the show in 2006, then you had the Caribbean star around, and that guy used to sponsor me. And here we come now with our own in-house Patrick
That's
doing
it.
a sponsorship. People should listen to this more. I'm hoping that this will go to what was Jamaica? Jamaica Television Broadcast?
JBC.
JBC. Let's get to the JBC level, Patrick.
Yes.
Let's get to the JBC level.
We're there.
Can't believe that this is just so wholesome and so wonderful.
Yes,
And
yes,
you have been such I've watched you a couple of times. You
Thank
are
you.
a magnificent
Thank you.
host.
Thank you. I do my best, but without APAP Media, there's no me without you, Patrick. And so we do the symbiotic. We have
Yes.
a symbiotic
Yes.
relationship going. I mean, APAP Media does stuff top shelf.
Yes.
Oh, and by the way, I know that this time of the year is a time when a lot of us do our traveling. Just so you know, I've had clients who call me, let me know, oh my gosh, Norma, you're doing it when I'm already traveling. Guess what they did? They bought 2 tickets and give it to someone else to have the experience.
Yes.
Support.
Support is what we need. So when we leave this program tonight, I'm sure that it's going to be reflected online that you have been going on and getting your tickets. You may not be able to get your VIP in another few days, but if you hurry now, you should be able to get some ticket. We want to see
What
you
can
there.
I tell you?
We want
Can
to
I
see
tell
you
you?
there.
I look forward. I'm counting down the days. I'm so excited. So it's a fashion affair.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
It
Yes.
will be an exciting show.
Thank
It
you
will
to
be very
Weston. Thank you to
exciting
Angela
cultural
Lawrence.
fusion.
Thank you to Patrick. Thank you to Angela Lawrence. Thank you to Jean. Thank you to Nigel. Thank you to
Randy. I mean,
Randy.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, all of you who have been
Wow.
a part of my team. I could not do this without you guys. Christine has been our wing beneath our wing. She's the every hat person. And Patrick has been my midnight star.
Yeah.
So thank you. Thank you, guys.
But Norma, I'm just going to say this and close it out.
Yes.
When you call, nobody says no. How do you say no to Norma? I mean, that's just what it is. So this is what it is.
Christine, you said no
You
to me
know?
quite a few times, haven't you?
I don't know, but but guys, you know what? I thank you again for coming in. I really appreciate you. I look forward to seeing this fashion affair. This cabaret. I am so looking forward to it. I'm already thinking, God, what am I going to wear?
I don't want to give away
she'll
none of the
take care of me.
entertainment because it is so good
Oh,
this
girl,
year. I
let me
won't
tell
give
you.
away nothing.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming in.
Most welcome.
Wow. Man. Oh, so we'll go to commercial right now because who we have coming up, I mean, there's culture coming to this platform. So we've got fashion and then there's culture. It's what we do here.
A Fashion Affair, in partnership with the Caribbean Association of Georgia, presents Fashion Cabaret 2025, Enchanted, Saturday, May 31, 5 p.m. at the beautiful Porter Sanford III Performing Arts and Community Center, 3181 Rainbow Drive, in Decatur, featuring top Nigerian fashion model, actress, entrepreneur, Adaeze Iluke, Miss Jamaica Universe 2024, Rachel Silvera, top models including Dawson Shoemate, cabaret performances, compere and director Weston Houghton. Call 678-379-3811 or visit information at afashionaffair.org for tickets and more information. Sponsors: Winter Law Practice, Arcoville Inc., The Empowerment Workshop, Majestic Smiles LLC, Jamaica Tourist Board, TK Bridal, Gastroenterology Specialists, and the St. Kitts Tourism Authority. Fashion Cabaret 2025, Enchanted, May 31, 6 p.m. at Porter Sanford.
And there you have it, guys. Welcome back to Speak Harmony. My goodness. Wow. So it's where fashion meets culture. We've got our first guest who just got us all riled up. And now we've got our amazing second guest right here in the studio. I'm so excited to have you here, Austin. I mean, this gentleman, he's a cooperative. Okay, so let's just do it right now. He's from the island, the country. Let me get that right because I almost went there. We all do that because we got schooled on that. So he's from the country, okay, in South America, Guyana, not Ghana, because we've done that before, and I know you've gotten that.
Oh yeah,
it's Guyana in South America. He lived in Brooklyn. He moved here to Georgia. He relocated to Georgia. This gentleman wears, many hats. He has been on many boards. He's a passionate member of our community. What he does, he sits on many boards. He does many things. I've met him a couple of times in the community when it's not the African diaspora that he's, marinating in and doing the most with them. He's always a part of the Caribbean culture, but he fuses everything because you know what? When I talk to you and you schooled me on that, and I love that, you pretty much told me, listen, it's one nation.
Yes,
We're all one people. And the fact that people separate the Caribbean from Africa, from African Americans, and that's only meant to divide and conquer. And what you have done, and I admire you for that, Austin, my namesake, by the way, okay, is that you decided, you know what? We're one people. So you bring Africa to Georgia. You bring Guyana to Georgia. You bring the Caribbean and you mix it up. So you make it a big old gumbo. You're a part of all sorts of, nonprofits, leadership and mentoring programs in our great Gwinnett County. But not only Gwinnett County, you step outside.
Oh, yes.
You're melting, you're mixing all around Georgia. You're an engineer. You do mentoring. You do what don't you do? That's probably the question to ask. You're always doing. And so I just want to say welcome to APAP Media.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming in. So tell me a little bit about that young man that came all the way from Guyana to these shores. What was on your young mind? Okay. What got you to this point where you are? Because, I mean, what could be on a young mind then? I mean, that you could become this great leader that you are in our community today. What happened? Who impressed upon you? What was that driving force? How did that happen?
Yes.
Tell the folks, please.
Oh, yes, ma'am. And, you know, before I get started, I want to preface my commentary by just saying thank you
Absolutely.
to APAP Media Group for having me here this evening, and also to all of the wonderful women of influence out there. We are recognizing our professional women and women in so many different spaces. Happy Women's History Month.
Thank you.
Women around the world, not just national. So I immigrated from Guyana in 1977, and many people's landing spot, Brooklyn, New York. Immigrated, and it was not my idea. You know, of course, I was young. I was 8 years of age. So
Wow.
at that age, you don't really make a decision to immigrate. You just follow whatever your parents have for you, right? So my parents brought me here to the United States, and like with anyone who comes to the United States, it's to find a new path
Yes.
in life, right? I don't like to use the terms to find a better life, because who is to say that you couldn't find a better life back in your birth country, right?
That's good.
So to find a new pathway forward, to embark on new life experiences, right, outside of Guyana. And came to Brooklyn, East New York, where I grew up. And, you know, in East New York, I tell people, and Sonia Sotomayor, the first Latina to serve on the U.S. Supreme Court, said it best. Her upbringing and her surroundings shaped her
Yes.
as a person,
Yes.
right? And she grew up in Manhattan, upper Manhattan in New York. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. She is a Puerto Rican, right? I am a Guyanese, so we know what it's like being immigrants, coming up in a community that we're on, in which we're treading this new path, getting these new experiences of life.
Yes.
And growing up in East New York, Brooklyn, it really created some experiences for me, because it wasn't in a community where we had opulence, right? I grew up in the inner city. I grew up in what we call the hood. I grew up in the projects, East New York, Brooklyn, and in Flatbush, Crown Heights, where I last stayed before I relocated to Georgia. So I grew up in a predominantly Caribbean, Hispanic, Haitian, Creole. So everybody spoke Spanish and French, and we were from all different parts of the Caribbean, right?
Yes.
So very multicultural. And you know, when I was growing up, I had a lot of experiences, because you learned to make do with what you have. You learn to work hard. You learn to be industrious. You learn to be creative, right? And I had very strict family. I've come from a very strict background, an upbringing in discipline and behavior, and what was expectations of you as a young person growing up in a Caribbean, South American household. So, I grew up in East New York. I lived in the Flatbush area after high school. I'm an alumnus of Erasmus Hall High School.
Wow.
And the Academy for the Performing Arts, where I majored in theater. So, on Saturdays, I did battle on the gridiron. I played football, championship football. Go Dutchman, Erasmus Hall. And I was a theater major. So I studied theater for 3 years. And I was a budding thespian, but winning Best Actor in my senior year, studying Shakespeare and everything. I killed it in my senior year.
I can see that.
Right.
I can see that. Now it explains why. I've admired you from a distance for many, many years. I've seen you.
Thank you.
And I kept wondering, because I pondered a lot about you. I kept saying, there's something about him.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the artsiness in you without knowing. So you're just now telling me that. I wasn't aware of that. I could tell.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
now that explains it.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, wow. So where the culture is concerned, I've seen the spices. I've seen you, believe it or not, I've seen you involved in certain communities that I am a part of. And I'm going, wow, I didn't know that. So you keep surprising me. You keep surprising me. Because I keep saying, Austin, I didn't expect it. I went to this event and I'm like, he's there. And then I look around and I'm like, are you kidding me? We think alike.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that we had so much. I didn't realize it was not only the name, Thompson, but we have a lot in common because what you're talking about culturally, I mean, the Shakespearean, the thespian, I mean, I'm like, I knew you were that person. So he just confirmed it, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Just confirmed it. I love it. I love it. And, honestly, I mean, you've mentored students, there's the likes of Discovery High.
Yes.
I mean, you're an engineer by
profession.
by profession, really.
Yes, ma'am.
But you've covered the whole gamut.
Yes, ma'am.
There's so many things that you have done, and these are the things that our students are looking for.
Yes, ma'am.
Our young people are looking for. Young men are out there looking to you. For example, they're not looking for perfection. They're looking for people like you who have been there and done it. So when we say, you were raised in the hood, that was family.
I'm not ashamed of it either.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I spent many years in the South Bronx.
Yes.
So I am not ashamed of it either. It's not where you're coming from, it's where you're heading to. I think
Yes,
one of
ma'am.
those famous musicians coined it. And so what you have done, you've laid out pathways for these youngsters coming up. They're looking at you and they're going, if he did it, certainly I can do it.
Yes, ma'am.
So you've set the bar really high for these youngsters, but you know what? The fact that you're reaching back and mentoring and helping them and pushing them forward, laying out that place for them to reach those levels. I just want to say my hat to you.
Thank you so
tip
much.
My hat to you.
Thank you so
thank
much.
you. And so, where that is concerned, what do you see as far as our people? I mean, our youth. I mean, development, because with what's going on right now in our country, I mean,
Yeah.
how do you see us forging forward? Because I mean, it's more community than anything else, I would say. What's your takeaway as far as getting these students, these young people out there and getting them involved?
I do a lot of speaking to our young people, high school,
Yes.
college, And one thing that we should not be mistaken, because we were all 18 to 25 at one point of our lives, right? One thing we should not be mistaken is to say our young people they just don't know what they're doing. They're young. What do they know? Let me tell you something.
They're
Our
lost.
young people
They're
lost, Our young people are very passionate. We have to think back to when we were 18 to 25. We were passionate. Not that we have ceased being passionate, but we had a sense of passion and vision and vigor and drive back when we were 18. We wanted to conquer the world.
We did.
We just didn't have access to Instagram and Facebook and TikTok back in those days, right? And smartphones. Young people today are more globally connected than we were when we were their age. So they're building influences and relationships with counterparts across the globe.
Yes.
They're very imaginative. They're very creative.
Yes.
They're still passionate, right? And we have to really look at our young people because I turn 56 next month. Wow. Many of my friends, folks I keep in my circles, are below the age of 35, right? Because it comes from the mentoring and the youth development that I do. I have young people across the globe, literally, in the Caribbean and West Africa, in Uganda. And I learn a lot from them.
Yes.
And I try to share experiences because I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, right? Where I grew up, again, I didn't grow up with opulence, right? I didn't grow up in a highly economically, infused
Privileged,
community, privileged community or anything. My high school was in the hood. My junior high school was in the hood. Mm-hmm. But I tell you this, Miss Sharon, and the one thing I tell young people,
Yes.
just listen to the nuggets that people drop in your ear.
Yes.
I was part of an Upward Bound program at Brooklyn College after school. And I always remember my teachers, the instructors there telling me, and I wasn't the most highly academically performing individual as well. But
that's fine.
I had drive. I had ambition. There were things my mind was churning, right? Yes. I was a stud in high school. Wow. I played football. I ran track. I studied theater. So, I got out of high school with a hum and a prayer, right? But
look at you.
I turned it around.
You did.
And I turned it around because amongst some of the negative messages that people dropped, I always had people who were behind me. And they said, Austin, you know what? You're going to be something.
Yes.
You're going to be something. We don't know what it is, but you're going to be something. You're going to do something in your life that's going to impact the lives of individuals positively. I never knew what it was because when I was coming out of high school, literally, I registered at Medgar Evers College. I was a student there at Medgar Evers College. I started out at Borough of Manhattan Community College and then transferred to Medgar Evers. I was a political science and economics major. I love politics from young and economics, but I just never parlayed that interest into anything political until like a few years ago. But I started out and I was just sort of inconsistent. I was inconsistent, but I had good jobs because I was working at Chase Manhattan Bank, right? And I always aligned myself with people older than me, right? Who were like 10, 15 years older than me. And I went from Chase Manhattan Bank to Stoner Webster Engineering, and then I left New York in '92. And I moved here, and I was in a state of trying to find myself and who I was and what I really wanted. And I again linked up with some individuals. I became very religious at a young age. I was moving towards self-discovery, self-consciousness, who I am as an African man. And I say African because I don't use the term black, because that's who I am. That's who we are.
Yes.
And I was trying to discover myself. What is my past? Who are my ancestors? What are they responsible for? And my uncle and some of my friends, they turned me on to authors like John Henry Clark, Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Dr. Ben, Dr. Asa Hilliard, Amos Wilson, all of these African historians that once I opened the book, I was on a path of discovering who I was, or who I am, as an African man.
Yes.
And all that my ancestors contributed to in form of the civilization, science and technology and engineering and math and so on and so forth. So much that when I decided to get serious about school, and again, I was very inconsistent. I was registering and then dropping and registering and dropping. I just didn't know. I was young.
You were navigating.
I was navigating.
You were navigating. Let's just use that. You were navigating. Some start out, and I may just say this, but there's some that start out here.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, there's some that started so young at the right age, supposedly.
Yes, ma'am.
But it's not where you start. I mean, the race is not for the swift.
Swift.
if I may just say it.
Yes.
It's for those who endure it to the end. Look at you.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes, ma'am.
So young people, are looking at you. And if there's one young person, I would say, that's out there who's indecisive right now, watching this podcast, saying, you know what? I am not a college-bound person. I don't think I want to graduate high school and move on to college. Well, guess what? It's not, college is not for everyone.
Everybody. And that's fine.
It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, look at you. I mean, you're a successful businessman and I mean, a community leader. I mean, someone that people desire and yearn to be like. So guess what? Again, just look into that camera and tell that young person, because graduation is coming around the corner real fast.
Yes, ma'am.
And they need to know, hear it from you, sir,
Yes, ma'am.
right here in our county and beyond, that this is a word for today. Speak to that young person that's kind of on the fence, and their parents are going, well, if you don't go to college, you can't stay in my house. You got to go off to the military or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We've got to change that. So encourage a young person and some parents while you know, in the same token right now. Please.
And I'm just gonna repeat what I literally tell young people and parents. Not everyone is going to come out of high school at the age of 18 and go off to Duke and Harvard and Georgia State and Emory and all of these wonderful universities. They're going to think about what they're doing and what's their passion, their skill sets. And again, not everyone is made and designed for a 4-year college degree, right? There are individuals out there who are very skilled in technology. They love to design websites. They love to create software. They love to work on different aspects of social media and marketing and promotions, and they have skills in those disciplines. What I would tell parents, and I have the privilege of speaking to not too many, but the few parents I do get to engage, I tell them, continue to infuse positive messages in your child.
Yes.
I wasn't, again, the most academically astute individual coming out of high school. It took me until the age of 26, almost 27, to get it together. And then once I got it together, it's like, but that journey between 18 and 27, I mean, I was doing things. I was working. I was meeting people, engaging folks older than me. I put myself on a pathway to success by doing the things that would lead to who I am today. So to the parents, I would say, continue to drop those positive nuggets and positive words of influence and motivation and encouragement in the ears of your child. Just because he or she gets out of the starting blocks slow doesn't mean that they won't cross that finish line successfully. And to the young people out there, I would say, find your passion. Find what makes you happy. Be honest with yourself. If college is not for you, don't waste your money. Because there are individuals who would go through a 4-year degree, get that 4-year degree, and then will still not know what it is they want to do, right? You have folks who are graduating with law degrees that don't go on and take the bar because they've realized after going through law school and going through med school, oh, I really don't want to be a doctor.
Wow.
I really don't want to be a lawyer. Or I really don't want to be an engineer after spending all that money because it was not their dream.
Correct.
It was the dream of their parents.
And parents do that.
And
all the
parents
time.
do that.
They live vicariously through
Yes.
their children. So let's segue just into who you are, Mr. Thompson.
Yes, ma'am.
Guess what? You're that political, I mean, you said political science and you said historian and you said a whole lot of stuff. And you, oh my God, you wear hats of all different types.
Yes, ma'am.
But politics, how did you get into that space? Politics, how did you get there? Because I mean, you were a politician from day one.
Yes, ma'am.
You were created.
Yes, ma'am.
That.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us about that. How did that happen?
I was sitting in a class at Medgar Evers College, and one of my classmates, who was also one of my tutors, came over to me and said, "Hey, Jesse Jackson and his campaign, they're looking for volunteers, to join their campaign." And this was his second run for president, right, in 1987, right, 87, 88.
Yes.
And I joined the campaign, the Jesse Jackson campaign for president, right? And after Jesse Jackson, it just took off from there. And I was joining different campaigns, Brooklyn Borough President, different local elections. And then when I moved to Georgia, it was probably like about a year or two before I got, involved. There was the Clinton campaign in '92. And then, and it just took off from there. And I was supporting folks on the local level, municipal races, state races, county races, and being a registered Democrat. When you're in the database, you get all sorts of information of different campaigns to support. And I just started supporting different campaigns, but I was always that guy in the background. I was always in the background because I never really cared to run, but to support, yes. I organized fundraisers. I organized canvassing, door knocking, phone banking, you name it. Anything that I can do to help a candidate. I was even volunteer coordinator for several races, right?
So what made you step out, though? At what point did you say, you know what? I'm just going to throw my hat in that ring. What made you do that?
It was 2019. I was Donna McLeod's campaign manager for both of her campaign victories. And I was a campaign manager for Jenna S. Sudan, who ran for school board in Gwinnett County. But after Donna's campaign, she served wonderfully in the Georgia State House as the first Jamaican to serve in the Georgia State House. And after her campaign, 2019 came around, and I was just, and for 6 years I served on the Architecture Review Board for Lawrenceville. I served on the Lawrenceville Neighborhood Alliance. I was attending city council meetings in the very beginning, but then the Downtown Development Authority. So I sat on several boards, right? I sat in attendance in several board meetings.
Gotcha.
Right? To just, in the audience, just to get a better idea of how I could be a better citizen in Lawrenceville. In 2019, then Mayor Judy Jordan Johnson, who appointed me to the Architectural Review Board, was not going to run for her third term as mayor. So Lawrenceville City Councilman Post 1, the current mayor, David Still, decided to abdicate his position for Post 1 and run for the mayor's position. So that left the Post 1 seat vacant.
Of course.
So I said, you know what? These guys are always behind me to run for something and run for position. And the party members, they see you when you're active, they're always going to push you.
Of course.
In 2012, I was an elected delegate to the DNC. I personally casted my vote for Barack Obama to be the party's candidate. So it started there as well. But, in 2019, I decided to just throw my hat in there, and it was late. It wasn't, because by the time I got wind of it, it was already like April.
Wow.
And I decided to just throw my hat in there. Well, it was three of us vying for the open position, and I came in second, right? And when I lost that election, I said to myself, I'm going to run again. Because I knew, as a person who has been involved in the community for years, in the Caribbean community, in the Latin community, through the Latin America Association, over 15, 16 years.
You've done the work.
I've done the work.
Yeah.
I just have not been a policy, right? I just have not been a policy maker.
That's it.
In the seat of public policy. So I decided to run again. So in 2021, I ran again. I started earlier. I had my vision plan, and I you have your lessons learned analysis, and you do all of the things to say, okay, what did I do well in 2019, and the things that I did not do well. And I got out and I pushed hard and everything. And it was three of us again vying for a Post 3 seat. And I ended up winning that election.
Yes.
In 2021.
Yes.
And this is from a kid who, was not academically performing well in high school, who came out, who really didn't know.
All the odds. You beat the odds. You beat all the odds. And here you are today. And what's your next move, though? Before we close out this program, I want the folks out there to know exactly what your next, because there's something that you need to tell us. And I don't want I don't want to throw it out there. What's your next move? What's the next move for Austin Thompson?
Well,
What's that next big move.
Let's say
Let us know.
let's say we heard it here first, right? So
Go ahead.
I will be running for re-election.
Yes.
In November 2025, re-election.
Yes.
For City Council of Lawrenceville, post 3 seat. I'm excited about the work I do for the city as a policymaker because I'm a municipal legislator.
You are.
Right. I am part of a board of 4 city council members and a mayor that set legislature for the city. We make laws for the city in the form of ordinances, and we review rezonings and different cases for special use permits and so on and so forth. We work on the budget for the city. The budget for last year was about 184 million. 200 million the year before, and this year we're reviewing. We're in the process of reviewing the budget now to set for this year. I'm focusing on, affordable housing policies, right? I'm focusing on economic development.
And let me ask you though, how can the folks out there who are going to be supporting you, because we don't want to end without them knowing where to find you.
Yes, ma'am.
They must know how they can contact you to support you, because guess what? We're getting behind you. This is what we're doing.
Yes, ma'am.
Grassroots folks. We want to be able to say, that's our person.
Yes, ma'am.
So how can they contact you or your office? I mean, who's that person or persons or that website? What's your point of contact? So we want to wrap it up and put it out there, because
Yes, ma'am.
we want to support you. And I'm telling you now, you've got my support.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So on Instagram, Austin for Lawrenceville. On Facebook, Austin for Lawrenceville. Also on my personal Facebook page, Austin E. Thompson Jr. My website is currently under construction because, of course, we're trying to revamp it for the re-election.
Of course.
So we're hoping to get back the URL, vote for Austin Thompson, right? But
Yes.
you can definitely find me on Facebook and on Instagram, right? I am passionate about service to the people, and even when I speak to young budding politicians, I say, don't get into it for the fame, don't get into it for the spotlight, don't get into it for the money, right? Get into it because of your passion and love for service.
Yes.
Your passion and love for people, because people are going to depend on you as a public servant.
Yes.
Whether on the municipal level, whether on the state, county, federal level, your responsibility is to take care of people.
Correct.
Right? To hear their concerns, hear their challenges.
And you're a servant. I mean, I know
Yes.
you're a servant. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't doubt that at all.
Yes,
I mean,
ma'am.
I'm throwing my support behind you.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm
Thank you so
publicly
much.
saying that too, because I learned so much about the man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in such a window. And I mean, believe it or not, I would say your name and people are like, you don't know who Austin Thompson is? And I'm like, I see him. I really don't know him. And let me tell you, I've learned so much about you. So I just want to say thank you so much for coming here to
Yes.
APAP and announcing to the folks that, listen, Austin Thompson, remember November is just around the corner.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? So look out. Whatever you do, research Austin Thompson, Lawrenceville.
Yes, ma'am.
Gwinnett County, there's one and only Austin Thompson.
Yes, ma'am.
You've got our support.
Thank you so much. Thank you
APAP,
so
we're
much.
backing Austin Thompson.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming in. We
Thank you.
really sincerely appreciate it. And we look forward to having you back.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Because the campaign is getting kicked off, so
Oh,
there'll
my
be a
goodness.
lot of activities.
It's going to be a lot of
Yes, ma'am.
things going on. And we thank you. I mean, it's amazing. Thank you for coming in.
Right. And quickly, I just want to give a shout
Yes.
out to my campaign manager, Deborah
absolutely.
Georges. She's phenomenal. She was my campaign manager when
Hey,
I won.
Deborah.
And she's my campaign manager again. All right.
Awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Thank you. I know that because, I mean, I've seen her around too. She does her thing.
Yes, ma'am.
So, APAP, man, what a day today has been. Speak harmony. It's what we do. We bring our people together. We're one people. We're
Yes, ma'am.
one African people.
Yes, ma'am.
That's where it's at. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Honestly, I just want to say thank you again to the APAP Media Group, where it's a full service, creative video recording, production, photo production company specializing in podcasting, multi-camera recording, and live streaming. They do it all. Patrick Parkins. I don't know how you do it, but you do. I mean, he's a cut above all others. Yes. You're amazing, and we thank you. We thank you for your services, sir. We appreciate you. He's always a sponsor with the most.
Yes.
And so we just tip our hats.
Definitely.
Always patient, quiet, Mr. Chill. You see him out there talking too much, but he makes it happen.
That's right.
And he's top shelf.
Right. Exactly.
You know? So we appreciate you. We just want to give you your flowers, especially today. Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate you. Wow. We look forward to having another Speak Harmony episode, but in the meantime, go out there, do what you got to do. I'm going to rally the troops because let me tell you, we've got to do this, Austin.
Yes, ma'am.
This is what we're here to do.
Yes, ma'am.
Support each other. Done deal.
Yes,
I've
ma'am.
got all my family up there and my crew. And tell them, listen, you got work to do.
Yes, ma'am.
Call this man, get behind him.
I appreciate you.
And I mean that.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
your number is going to be blowing up.
Yes, ma'am.
We're going to be working. I'm over here in Lilburn, but I do stuff up there
It's
in
all good.
Lawrenceville. I do stuff up there in Lawrenceville, you know? So,
Yeah, I serve in Lawrenceville, but I'm statewide.
I know.
Actually, I'm global.
Worldwide.
I'm
I was
global.
just about to say you're worldwide.
I'm global.
You're a global dude. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Man, what an evening. Man.
Meetings of the mind where wisdom is shared. Tamara and Sharon, a duo prepared to light up the path, to bridge every gap. Access meets opportunity, there's no turning back. Forward with fortitude, the future's in sight. Together we rise like stars in the night. Authenticity reigns, love leads the way. We're speaking in harmony every single day. Speak harmony, let your voice intertwine. So let's move forward, ever bold and true. With Sharon and Tamara, the vision